Hey guys, let's talk Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 16. So, this episode, child, thi- yeah, let's just get into it, starting with the couples as they appeared on the episode. So, we start this one with Adam and Marissa. They were leaving the group dinner, that last group dinner that was very heated and very escalated. Um, they're leaving the group dinner, and Adam says that he is ready to throw down, and he going with that energy to the retreat. Um, and then when they're getting ready to go to the retreat, he's talking about some. He hopes there's pickleball there, bro. This is getting. This is kind of crazy. It's kind of weird. Like, I understand people liking their hobby and sport or whatever the case may be, but this is a bit obsessive. But then yeah, so then they get to the retreat. When Sean and Nikki finally arrive, Sean does pull him aside to apologize to him and kind of keep the peace. And um also, while Adam is talking and observing, what, because they're all in the same house together. He's observing Caitlin, and he notices that Caitlin is often disconnected from Devin, even when Caitlin is not, when the camera's not up. So it's not just that she's disconnected because she doesn't like the camera, she's disconnected altogether. Then we have Nikki and Sean. When they were leaving the group dinner, she said that she was shook by what Sean said to Adam. And he said he did kind of mean to poke the bear a little. Um, then Nikki in her confessional says that Sean likes to take little jabs at her. For example, he said to her that in Seattle you are a 10, but in like New York you would be a 7. What? What? What do you what? And what do you think you are, Sean? Like, I'm curious. Curious minds want to know. The class is in session, and we want to know, what do you think you are? Because you ain't a strong 5. And that's just off of looking at you. Once I find out you dirty, you go in the negative digits to me because I don't do dirty. I'm just saying. But anyway, Nikki was making macaroni and cheese and dinner and whatnot. And when she was cooking, she had called her mom or whatever, and she let Sean speak with her mom. And then he said that her mac and cheese was okay, and okay isn't terrible. Even if you thought that, she is your wife. You should not have bashed a black woman's macaroni and cheese on national television. I'm just saying, that was foul. That was absolutely foul. You don't like her. Just say it. And when they got to the retreat, it was revealed that Sean wasn't going to be able to stay for the whole weekend because he had to leave early the next morning, like 3 a.m., to go to New York for his mom's birthday party. I think Nikki should have went with them, but I digress. Then we got Felipe and Tori. Child, Felipe is a hot mess. So when they got back home from the group dinner, he was talking about how he didn't appreciate that Tori didn't speak up for him, and he was expecting them to be more of a unit. And she said, you said those things, and you said those things that embarrassed me, because you telling me in front of a group of people that you like sleeping with women You said those things, and so the group is looking at you crazy. I'm not going to defend you for that. And she's right. She shouldn't have to defend him for that. I don't know if this was the episode where he was laying on the bed and he was talking and they kept shooting the camera up his nose and he had a booger in his nose and it was driving me crazy. But blow your nose. What's your name? Felipe? But anyway, Tori was talking to him and she was telling him, and she reiterated several times that she wants to be considered in the way that he speaks about her and to her and concerning them, basically. And then they were headed up to the retreat, and while they were doing it, Tori started having car problems and Felipe was of no assistance, completely useless. And then she said, I might have to get a new car. You're going to go with me and make sure, like, they don't, you know how they try to do women at a dealership. And he was like, I'll be the arm candy. If that's what you're going to do, I don't need you as my husband, because my husband needs to be able to take initiative and get mess done. I shouldn't even have had car trouble if I'm keeping it a bean, but I digress. Um then they were back at the retreat and they were playing a game and he basically won because he's a horrible individual and he celebrated that. And Tori really didn't, she wasn't really feeling Felipe's response to the game. And so they ended up arguing and she trying to explain what she explained earlier. I need you to consider me when you're talking. And then he's like, well, you worrying about what everybody else thinks. And so she was like, you know what, I can't do this. And they ended up calling it a night, calling it. And then he goes downstairs all sad and mopey with the guys, trying to play the victim and make them feel for him. I can't stand Felipe. Then we have Belle and Mecca, and she was upset because of the things that he said at the group dinner, and she said that she needed space and didn't want to talk, but he kept trying to talk and press her, but then she just started straight ignoring him. And so then she said in her confessional that she hasn't forgiven him for the comment, but she did eventually bring it up to him, and then he's trying to deny what he said. He said, oh, I didn't say for me, I meant to me. And either way, it sucks to say. um it sucks to say, but he apologized. And then the producer asked, was this your way of self-sabotaging? And he's like, I guess so. Self-sabotage can only be an excuse, but for so long. And then Belle says that she has to look out for herself. And she also shared, the things that Mecca said to her with the girls. And I wrote that I'm tired of Mecca because it's not her responsibility to deal with your issues. Go see a therapist. Then we have Michelle and Cam, and I don't really like Michelle and Cam because they like to stir the pot, and that's not what we're here for. It's not a competition about who can make it to decision day, and it's like they're trying to ensure that they make it to decision day and that nobody else does, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I said they're worried about others too much and not about themselves. So then we have Devin and Caitlin. He tells Felipe that they haven't kissed since Mexico. And he told her while they were having dinner that he wants to explore physical connection before decision day. And it doesn't necessarily have to be sex, but he does want to explore physical connection. And they have stupid surface conversations because their conversation on the drive up to the retreat was ridiculous. And then Caitlin claims she was trying to give him the green light by like scratching his back and whatnot. And Devin also had a problem with the way Caitlin responded to what she won in the game. But I'll see y'all next.